It's 2024, and I've spent well over the past 6 months using both YouTube Music and Spotify. And the question I really wanted to answer this year is YouTube Music better than Spotify? First, let's look at YouTube Music. Coming in at YouTube Music's number 6 advantage is the YouTube Music app. While it does include podcasts like Spotify does, if you don't engage with podcasts on YouTube Music, so far, I've found it doesn't clutter the interface with podcast suggestions like Spotify continues to do, as well as with audiobooks. The app is not only less cluttered, but it has some great features that Spotify doesn't. Like quick picks, customized radio stations based on songs you liked and/or recently listened to. Related to quick picks is YouTube Music's Music Tuner feature. This feature allows you to create customized radio stations based on artists that you select. You can choose up to 30 of them and adjust settings like artist variety as well as song selection, letting YouTube Music know if you want to discover more things or keep things more familiar. You can also apply filters to your station to further refine the music YouTube will generate. One new feature that YouTube Music added within the past year involves AI image generation, but don't worry, it's actually kinda cool. If you create a lot of custom playlists, it can sometimes be hard to sort through them all visually. Well, now, when you go to edit a playlist, you'll see this new gradient edit button on the artwork. This will allow you to use generative AI in a limited way, mind you, to create artwork that better fits the mood and vibe of your playlist. Another great YouTube Music feature is the music video toggle. You can easily toggle between the song version and the video version of a song. But what if you don't want the music video versions of songs to appear in your recommendations or playlists? To prevent that, you can toggle the Don't Play Music Videos setting under Playback and Restrictions. The last big feature that helps differentiate YouTube Music's app from Spotify's is the Offline Mixtape, which honestly deserves its own number, actually, so it's the number 5 advantage of YouTube Music. This feature automatically downloads a 100-song playlist locally on your device based on your recent and past listening history. I use this feature all of the time when traveling, where I don't want to use any data, and what makes it so great is you don't have to do anything. Like, you don't have to remember to download your favorite music to your phone. That new song you can't get enough of, it's on there, along with your favorites and stuff you listened to a while ago that you still like. In my experience, YouTube Music does an excellent job with its algorithms figuring out the perfect balance of what music to put in the playlist. You can also set YouTube Music to automatically download music to your device using the Smart Downloads feature, which will save up to 500 songs on your device automatically. Smart Downloads will keep your offline mixtape up to date, as well as your liked music playlist, stations you created using the Music Tuner, and other customized mixes like your replay mix and albums you listen to a lot and like. Moving on, the number 4 advantage for YouTube Music is music uploads. Unlike Spotify, which only lets you play files off your computer locally, YouTube Music lets you upload up to 100,000 tracks of music from your computer to the cloud. It'll upload them and make them available to all of your devices. This is actually a pretty important feature because while music streaming services, they're overall great, there are gaps in the music that's available on them, sometimes because of licensing issues or other times because the artists themselves actually pulled something from their earlier catalog off of the services. Moving on, YouTube Music's number 3 feature is Algorithmic Choice. Unlike Spotify, YouTube Music lets you fine-tune the recommendation algorithm that appears in the up next queue after you play a song, like when using quick picks, for example. You can tune the recommendation to be more familiar to you or to give more weight to discovery, popular tracks, deep cuts, and other moods and genres. If you like the list of songs the algorithm creates in the up next queue, you can save it as a playlist with a single tap. Alright, YouTube Music's number 2 advantage is music track availability. Because YouTube Music leans on videos uploaded to YouTube and the official versions of songs, you'll find way more covers, live recordings, and indie bands in YouTube Music compared to Spotify. Alright, and YouTube Music's number 1 feature over Spotify is actually how you get it. You can get YouTube Music bundled with an ad-free YouTube experience in a subscription called YouTube Premium. Here in the US, YouTube Music for individuals costs $10.99 a month, but the YouTube Premium bundle is just $3 a month more. It's probably the best streaming service bundle out there. I've left a link in the description if you want to check it out and see how much it'll cost you in your local currency. So those are YouTube Music's advantages, but what about Spotify's? Well, before we get to Spotify's, if you're thinking about switching between Spotify and YouTube Music, doing that manually can be a real pain. But thankfully, there are solutions out there that can help with this. Like the one I use to keep my playlists in sync from Tune My Music, which happens to be this video's sponsor. With its powerful transfer tool, Tune My Music lets you seamlessly transfer your music between services. It works across all of the major music platforms, including Spotify and YouTube Music. You can easily move playlists, albums, and your entire music library between services. Tune My Music's matching technology finds songs across platforms so nothing gets left behind. I was able to move more than 2,000 songs from one service to another with minimal no matches found. It saved me a ton of time from manually having to recreate playlists when I'm switching between services. But Tune My Music doesn't stop there. You can also set it to sync new playlist additions automatically. So if you subscribe to multiple services, it'll keep your playlists up to date across them. Tune My Music also has a nifty sharing feature that allows you to share playlists with friends. When they click on the playlist, they can add it to their music library regardless of what music service they use. With its rock-solid transfer and syncing capabilities, plus its nifty sharing features, Tune My Music is the ultimate music companion for those looking to switch or share their music. So what are you waiting for? You can start using Tune My Music for free today by using the link in the description below, and thanks to Tune My Music for sponsoring this video. Alright, now let's talk about Spotify. Dedicated macOS and Windows apps come in as the number 6 advantage. These dedicated apps just feel more complete, have more features, and just feel a bit more polished than the Chrome app YouTube Music will have you download. On a Mac, you can also use the Add to Dock function in Safari, which turns the YouTube Music web player into a Mac app if you don't want to use Chrome. The number 5 advantage of Spotify is a simplified like system. With YouTube Music, liking a song or album won't automatically add it to your library. That's a separate action. On Spotify, hitting the plus button does both of those actions. Moving on, Spotify's Jam Session feature comes in as its number 4 advantage. This feature allows your friends and family to add songs to your Spotify queue in real time, and they don't have to be paying members of Spotify Premium to use it. YouTube Music, like Spotify, does have collaborative playlists, though you can't manage the queue in real time like you can with Spotify Jam Sessions. The number 3 advantage for Spotify is its AI DJ feature.
Up now, I've pulled together a few artists you've been listening to. Maybe one or two you haven't heard, all with kind of a similar vibe.
It's great for those times when you want to listen to something but aren't really sure what to listen to. The DJ will typically start off with something you've been listening to recently, then reach back into your listening history and introduce you to new stuff along the way. Alright, Spotify's number 2 advantage is actually network effects. According to Statistica, it still dominates the industry with a 30% share globally, more than double YouTube Music's 9.7% share. Why does this matter? Well, because it's more likely that your friends and family are using Spotify. It'll potentially be easier to share music with them, have shared playlists, and start jam sessions. Alright, and coming in at Spotify's number 1 advantage is Spotify Connect. This feature allows you to stream your Spotify music to any device that integrates with Spotify. And not only that, it lets you control whatever music you have playing on a device. For example, if I'm playing Spotify through my Sonos speakers, I can open up the Spotify app on my MacBook Air and control what's playing in real time. YouTube Music doesn't have anything like this, even though it's integrated in several different types of devices. That's actually one big downside going with YouTube Music. It's not available on nearly as many devices as Spotify, like the Sonos or Amazon Assistant on Sonos speakers, car infotainment systems, Peloton, and other niche devices. And one other related feature to Spotify Connect that Spotify has that YouTube Music doesn't is called Spotify Tap. You'll see this a lot in headphones, earbuds, and one of the most notable products of late, the Meta Ray-Bans, which make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you want to see my long-term review of these. But how this feature works is you just simply tap and hold on the device to trigger it, and then Spotify will just start playing some music. It'll either start streaming from wherever you left off on one of your other devices, or just trigger it again to play a different recommendation. So those are the advantages of Spotify and YouTube Music, but there are some similarities between them you should know about. Both services have free versions. Spotify has your Spotify Wrapped yearly recap of what you listen to, while YouTube Music actually has recaps for every season, which is nice, but there is something specific about Spotify Wrapped being a once-a-year, limited-time-only kind of social event. Both have a similar number of personalized mixes. YouTube Music doesn't have any genre or decade mixes, but it has others that Spotify doesn't. Spotify and YouTube Music will also use their algorithms to recommend songs you should add to your playlists. Though on Spotify, you can actually exclude certain content from your taste profile, like a playlist your kids want to listen to, but you don't want to impact your recommendations. At the time of recording, both services have subpar music streaming quality compared to competitors like Apple Music, Amazon Music, and Tidal, which support high-res lossless and Dolby Atmos. Though Spotify is rumored to be launching a hi-fi tier soon, but no word on whether it'll include Dolby Atmos or when it'll come out. So, is YouTube Music actually the better deal given how similar these two services are? For a lot of people, for the money, yeah, I do think YouTube Music beats Spotify with that YouTube Premium bundle. Now, if you don't care about the YouTube Premium bundle, because these services are similar, then it's really just going to come down to one or two features that one has over the other that you like better. Now, for me, I generally like YouTube Music a bit better than Spotify because of the YouTube Premium bundle, obviously, but also because of features like the Offline Mixtape, the Algorithmic Choice, and Quick Picks, but for you, you might value Spotify Wrapped or Spotify Connect more. And if you want to see how Spotify and YouTube Music compare to other streaming services like Amazon Music and Apple Music, you can click here to get to my comparisons of other streaming services, and then you can click here to see all of my reviews and other videos of audio devices you can use with Spotify and YouTube Music, like Sonos speakers and different headphones. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button below if you liked this video and found it helpful, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. For 6 months later, I'm Josh Tedder. Thanks for watching.